from the shadows is always strange to us. From the shadows is always strange to us. Sharing UFO information can be dangerous. Now tell me, are you a true insider? Have you gotten a death threat? But tell me, who was giving out the death threats? It's gotta be somebody. This has to stop, y'all. This is Skyfire News, and we're gonna break it all down for you. Skyfire News. That's right, baby. Are you a true science? Are you afraid for your safety? It's unacceptable, y'all. This is Skyfire News, the best UFO show on the internet. Skyfire News is on the internet. Skyfire News. Skyfire News. UFO show on the internet. Skyfire News is on the internet. We was chopping down trees in an Arizona forest, cutting off the sleeves of my work shirt. It was too hot to breathe and I wasn't going for it. We hit the road looking for a cheap skirt. And on that road we saw a light coming up the mountain. I got out the truck without a fight. The other guys kept shouting, Travis, don't go to that fine saucer floating there. Travis, you fucking idiot, are you blind? Do you care that there's a spaceship right above us and you don't seem to question? Then they took Travis walking into another dimension. Travis, where'd you go?
What up? Skyfire News. Welcome to the show. Glad you guys made it. We're getting started over here. We got an interesting situation that developed just today. Full Stack Logan Black, if you follow him on Twitter, has hosted a debate between Ashton Forbes and his, I don't know what you'd call them, staunch critics. So that's a whole thing. I'm into that, right? Krishley and T. Powell are the main players in this debate. And for those who don't know, Chrisley's been making a lot of content debunking the MH370 videos as a hoax. And her and Ashton and T. Powell and Ashton have, I guess, had like a back and forth going for a long time. Now, there was a moment where Chrisley and T. Powell were making their rounds through podcasts. They made it to Lou Reviews. And before they did, I had heard about it, so I popped in a couple spaces. I tried to listen to what they were talking about. And then I checked out Chrisley's YouTube account to check out what she was up to, because she was debunking these videos, and I wanted to see what that was, what that was about. I'm familiar with VFX. I'm like very familiar with it. So I don't know if you guys know what I do for a living, but I'm a videographer, editor, director. That's what I do. That's what I've been doing for over 15 years. So, I'm not an expert. I couldn't try to make the MH370 videos. I wouldn't try to make them, but she did. So kudos to her. Here's her YouTube channel. We got Chrisley in the Mix hoax breakdown, many live streams on this hoax thing. So let's just see what her videos are. Those are, I guess that's her portfolio stuff. That's really cool. And the lives are all, but these VFX breakdowns, car animation process. That's sick. That's like one of all of these. Most of these are these breakdown videos. And credit to her for putting them out there, getting them done, putting them in the mix.
Worrying.
But I think this is an up-to-date version of After Effects. So it's up to everybody to go check out these videos and determine for yourself if you think that they're truly debunking Ashton Forbes or not. But in the debate today, and I wish I could play the debate, but Logan Black is known for hosting like 20-hour, 60-hour, 70-hour spaces, and it's still going on. So I can't grab clips from the space right now. That being said, it was a spicy one. It was juicy. There was actually hella back and forth. I even chimed in at some points. We'll find those clips. We'll get them up here on the channel here pretty soon, probably later tomorrow when Logan's space finally ends. And they were interesting. Someone said in this chat, say, by the way, what's up, chat? How you guys doing? I see we got Derek Daughtry first in line. Skyfire. Love it. Love it. Gabriel right behind him. John Doe Crypto. Yeah, I love that. I love that. We have a girl named Tom. Good to see you. Jamie in the mix. Great to see you. Robert Vargas. What up? Very large debate indeed, says Dorian Kootenai. It was hundreds of people in the space, 400, I think, at some point. And that was interesting. I mean, a great debate. And shout out to Red Panda and Logan. Logan Red was co-hosting, and he just did a really good job. I mean, moderating such a thing. Now, here's something that I noticed as well, right? This says here, heard the whole debate. Rubab says, heard the whole debate. T. Powell was unable to answer any simple yes or no question. Yes. Now, I'm going to say this. By the end of the debate, T. Powell had kind of calmed himself down a little bit. It seemed like there was chill vibes happening and people were actually able to have a great conversation. And I think that is the bee's knees. I love that. I loved seeing them hash it out. But it wasn't until I think I called T. Powell out pretty hardcore, and that he wasn't presenting arguments. He was presenting a lot of opinions and saying that they were facts, which is a strange thing to do in a conversation or in a debate about facts. A lot of disparaging stuff towards Ashton. Ashton, you're a simpleton, you're a grifter, you're a scam artist, you're a liar. Like every name that you could throw at them, they threw at him, and they continue to do so. And I honestly find that to be bad strategy, I guess is the most polite way I can say it. I think it's bad strategy to engage in a debate claiming you're coming from a higher place. You know what I mean? Like, okay. But then to act in a certain way like that, to kind of let Ashton get under your skin and then to retaliate. Then I scrolled through T. Powell's Twitter account, and I'm not trying to disparage the guy. I don't want anybody to go over there and harass him or anything like that. I think he's a fine person, totally fine person, and should be debating, should be arguing, should be doing everything he's doing, should be challenging Ashton. But what I saw on the on his Twitter account was just a ton. It was like all slanderous stuff towards Ashton. And I thought that was strange. And then I found out in the space that T-Pal had paid like $500 to promote a debunk. The fudge is going on? $500 to promote a debunk. What's the motivation? And I found out the motivation was because Ashton called him a liar. Ashton calls this guy a liar, and this guy is like, fuck this nerd, I'm going to take him out. So then he just dedicates his time to take Ashton out, puts $500 down on a promoted thing, and then he teams up with Krishley, and they're out there crusading. You know what I mean? They're down there crusading. And that was fine. Krishley, more power to you. Do what you got to do. Some challenges or questions to her experience as a visual effects person, which should absolutely be in question always. I have my own opinions about Krishley's work and ability to determine what this video is and what it did, just based on the work I saw of her. And I thought that Canadian guy summed it up pretty well. I thought he summed it up pretty well. You know what I mean? I wonder if I could sneak into Ashton's space. Do you know what I'm saying? Or sorry, sneak into Logan's space and get Logan to talk about this. I think I can try this. All right, so I'm gonna give this a whirl. We're gonna see if this works. Oh, you know what's funny right now? Check this out. Sorry, guys. Bear with me.
Don't you see that? The other question I have is there any other case in ufology where one person
look who's in the spaces?
has
when the CIA gets them, you know what it really is.
It just occurred to me there's no other case in this.
You guys can hear the space. Shout out. Let me know in the chat if you guys can hear the space.
And your opinion cannot be spoken against it. Is there another case like that? Does anybody know?
I would say Corey Good, but Emery Smith and a lot of other people took counter or co-authorship of it.
Well,
nice.
So I might be correct there.
Should I grab the mic?
Hopefully people know that. Those are crazy.
Well, yeah, they do it.
Dude, you would be surprised.
Hopefully they know 20 and out, 20 and back are bad. But I'm curious. There's not another story out there where one person has claimed ownership.
We're really up here in the mix.
The whole community has to either be behind it or keep
okay,
quiet.
Good.
Can anybody else name?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, Red Panda. Do you want to name names? Red Panda, are you there? He's the one that can speak to this more than I can. Maybe he's on a break.
But yeah, the danger of that is very significant.
I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair to not acknowledge that Ashton did exercise restraint and contain himself. You don't know what
Shane's in the mix now.
Anger,
we got Shane,
energy,
T-Power.
with people being so public.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit. He called T. Powell a schizophrenic. He called T. Powell a schizophrenic. He said everyone was going after him personally instead of the data. He called other people mentally ill for questioning him. That kid can go fuck himself.
He called Grid a drug addict. He called a bunch of people a lot, but I guess he was so kind and gentle with his words. Come on.
I didn't say he was kind and gentle with his words.
Well, he wasn't restrained either, because calling people drug addicts and fucking schizophrenics isn't necessarily the definition of being restrained.
Maybe he wanted to call them something worse, and that was the milder version.
Can you just stop making excuses for some dude that would never do anything for you? Honestly, I like you, Dinar, but Jesus Christ, you know this dude like a lot of us do. I know him behind the scenes.
Hey, look. Yeah.
I just don't think that the personal UFO Twitter in fucking general is people pecking at each other. So let's not fuck about the bush regarding that, okay? And Shane, I do have a lot of love for you, and I'm not kidding. Like, you also like DBZ and stuff, and fucking Broly. So
well, hey, look,
that's awesome.
hey, y'all, can y'all be quiet for a second? Look, I just
Oh
got
shit,
some
this is
photographs
Neil.
I just got.
Speaking. That's fucking rude. That's fucking rude. You're a simulation. I was speaking. Just wait.
Dude, me and Jen Horror were having a moment, dude.
Yes,
exactly. You were fucking speaking about Broly, and then he comes like.
We really don't know. We really don't know. Yeah, this is happening right now. This space is live.
Okay.
Yeah, but we're talking about
we're hearing
the
a
only way to ever
recap
win me over is either
of
Dragon
the
Ball Z or
event,
vampires,
of the
and you
debate.
hit Dragon Ball Z.
Let
So
us speak, man.
You got me there.
Peace.
We're talking to each other.
Yeah, I mean, hold on a second. Did you say vampires? Because
yeah,
I love the vampire idea. Did we pitch the vampire idea yet and the cult? I'm not sure. But just in case we have,
we can do that. And off to the side, in your Better Call Saul like Disneyland you built, there's just this franchise vampire brothel.
Still a good idea.
Let's let Jahar finish your piece now.
What was I saying? I'm kind of like,
Is Janar's accent real?
Legendary Super Saiyan. Fuck yeah.
I don't know.
That his energy, that he could have been really wanting to say something much worse.
Dorian
Remember?
says nobody claims Ashton is a perfect person and capable of name calling. He even says that himself. That's 100%.
And I don't get why there's like double standards for male and females getting attacked, etc. And then it's like, oh, okay, I don't know the full story, granted that, but it was stated that somebody sharing this stuff on a public platform has to accept the risks associated with it, and that goes for men and women. So it's like,
is this Ray? Do you guys think this is Ray?
Also, in terms of the bigger picture, are people being productive and in service to others or in service to self? And I'd also like to illustrate the fact that
I think this is Ray, dude.
Bringing
I like throwing out
the possibility
accusations that someone's Ray
to people's minds.
But this is a fake person.
Create changes on a quantum level, and for some of us who get tested on and tortured with directed energy weapons and things like that,
I feel like it's going from British to Australian.
Some of the only hope that we have. So people may want to keep a bigger picture in mind.
Yeah, this is weird.
Capacity, rather than just like, oh, this is blah blah blah, and
yeah, this is an elf. Malibu Barbie.
I knew this one before, and blah blah blah.
This is wild.
It's just like, are you coming from a place of ego, or are you trying to be in service to people? And
Icelandic, like she's Bjork.
Everybody.
No, we can watch a Bjork song. I'll show you guys what Icelandic sounds like.
And like, maybe I'm an asshole for defending him, but time will reveal it, and then I'm going to have to be accountable to myself, aren't I?
No, you're not an asshole. You're just ignorant because he's a hypocrite and people are cherry picking who they defend. And he's trying to make money off of it.
Let me tell you about Al. Al was just talking. I got to turn him off. The other day, I hopped into space. Al was in it. Al said, Tupo, you gave me a really good reading the other day, and I got to say thank you for it. Like a psychic reading. Let me tell you, I've never done that. I've never given anyone on Earth a psychic reading. It's never happened. He was convinced that it happened. Like convinced. So, Al, I don't know what to believe. I don't know if I can believe what you're saying. Simply put, not sure. But, you know, there's that. There's that. We're going to try to get a statement from Logan about the space. Yeah, he did. I swear to God.
I think that I do think that people harassing him should leave him.
I don't know any. I don't,
She's
honestly
back.
don't know
What about the
anybody
people
who's
he's
harassing
harassed?
him. Honestly, I don't know of any cases where he's been harassed per se.
Dude, when he first started, he was harassing so many fucking people, and I told him to calm down. I was like, dude, you need to calm down, because he was on my show. And then he calmed down for a little bit.
UFO
Then he
Shane got
bigger.
shut the fuck
Then he started
down
harassing more people again, and we all told him, hey, man,
by
calm down.
Ashton
Everyone was
today.
quoting it, posting on their things. That's why he had so much hate.
Is this specifically about the matter at hand, or is this regarding?
No, he's only ever existed for MH370.
Etc.
No, he's only ever existed for MH370. Period. His whole thing was when he had like a couple hundred followers, he would join spaces like mine or Logan. He would come in and he would talk about MH370. And I told him, I was like, this is total bullshit. And then he got bigger and bigger and bigger. And then he did the podcast circuit, and that's how he built up his following. But he's always been about MH370. Then other people would come out with debunks, and then he would rebunk the debunk, and then they would rebunk the debunk.
Very true.
Anyways, it's gotten ridiculous.
Oh, and, terrestrial material, you're welcome. You know,
and then he would attack.
You're so
people.
Welcome.
And he would attack people. And you start doing that, it's ridiculous.
In this space,
I'm on stage now, y'all.
Anybody don't go after anybody that's that disagrees with me, and he's done that in other spaces before too.
Dude, he's literally.
Have you not seen the video where he's threatening?
If he's doing all this for attention and followers and money or whatnot, then.
No, I don't think so.
Wouldn't it be wisest for people to just ignore him then, if you guys feel that he's doing all this?
I think he genuinely gets that pissed off.
I think ignoring him would be about the best thing. Look, if that video was legit. Now, I was in a chat room many years ago.
Real alien hunter.
We had a
real alien hunter pops into the chat sometimes.
Said that he planted explosives in one of the buildings on 9/11, okay? And I thought he was full of shit. I got visited. And my other admins in the room got visited. In fact, everybody who was in that damn room got visited. Damn! Okay? I want to know what the hell we were talking about, yada, 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 okay? This is a chat room. And I thought everything was bullshit until I heard that. And it's like, okay. If that video was real, that includes if it was real UFOs, not whatever, especially if it's our tech, we would not be talking about that. Your computers would not be operating. You would not be able to get any voice calls. You would not be able to. They would even go so far as cutting your power.
What do you guys think about it? Real talk.
Technology, and your life is going to go to shit.
What the hell are wrong with people? Wow, Ashton left in the shit piles, LOL, to talk crap. Thanks, Tracy. Love reading that. Here we go. Courage first, the Mile Low Club. They're not exactly flying high with their knowledge. Brutal, but interesting. Ashton Hater support group, for sure.
Is absolutely real and yada yada yada. You're full of shit. When you got something,
this is a good point. Esoteric reactor.
You post.
Ashton does have a mountain of evidence, and he's presented it all the time. And the debunkers they go with like, you're a grifter, you're a liar. It's like, well, we need just give us a little bit more evidence than that. Let us believe. But it's cool.
Well, you can, but
I don't know what you're talking.
Can't. Right, but you don't.
Listen,
you're not actually having
comparing a 9/11 terrorist to the MH370 videos is like drastically different. I have no idea, dude. We discuss free energy technology in here every day.
Yeah,
every single day.
But you do not have a working device.
I didn't say nobody's claiming to have that.
Oh yeah, all right. Now, if somebody did, is
that a straw man argument?
Have a different story. So anyway,
even if I did have that, I wouldn't let you know that I have that because.
Good. I personally don't want to know.
Okay.
You can have discussions about language.
In a world shrouded in shadows, where the line between reality and the unknown blurs,
Sick. Logan with his Robert
you
Stack
get
sample.
the idea. So anyway, I think it's the best thing to
experts
do.
and the public alike since its disappearance on March 8th, 2014.
This is wild.
Tonight, we delve into the intricate web of theories, accusations, and strange occurrences surrounding one of the greatest aviation enigmas of our time. On that fateful night, MH370 vanished from radar screens, leaving behind a trail of questions and scant answers.
It is an
The
unsolved
official
mystery.
narrative suggests a tragic accident, but a growing faction of investigators and enthusiasts believes there's much more beneath the surface. In a recent Twitter space hosted by Logan Black, fervent debates unfolded, casting a light on an array of startling claims. Central to the controversy is the notion of government involvement, scalar technology, and the mysterious orbs captured in purported
John Doe.
footage of the plane's
Crypto.
final moments. Ashton and his compatriots argue that these videos, allegedly showing MH370 being surrounded by...
We got to kill that music. We got to kill the music. I'm telling you, Unsolved Mysteries doesn't play around. Really doesn't. If the AI will be able to catch it, I don't know. But Logan is letting it ride. So I'm just going to ask Logan for a recap what he thought about the debate. And we're going to move on from the show from there. But I figured while the space is still going on, we're going to go. Where did Ray go? Good question.
T. Powell, a prominent voice in the discussion, has spent countless hours dissecting the footage, insisting that the visual inconsistencies and the origins of certain cloud patterns debunk the authenticity of the videos. He claims that the use of VFX, visual effects, can account for the phenomena seen in the videos, suggesting that the entire narrative is a clever fabrication. The debate took an intriguing turn when Nathaniel referenced conversations with individuals linked to private labs and military contractors, suggesting that the technology displayed in the videos aligns with certain high-frequency gravitational wave generators, patented and acknowledged, but kept under wraps from the public eye. This assertion, while fascinating, remains highly contentious. Adding to the intrigue is the case of Edward Lynn, a former military official who pleaded guilty to leaking classified information. Ashton and his supporters see this as a pivotal piece of evidence, arguing that the secrecy surrounding Lynn's
It's actually a
case
solid recap.
hints at knowledge far beyond conventional understanding. As the discussions in the Twitter space intensify, questions arise about the credibility of various sources and the methodologies employed to analyze the footage. Participants accuse each other of bias and misrepresentation, with emotions running high. One side demands irrefutable proof and exact recreation steps for the alleged VFX work, while the other side calls for acknowledgement of the broader technological capabilities hidden from public scrutiny. The conversation veers into the realms of ocean currents and debris analysis. Skeptics cite scientific reports and satellite data to challenge the official crash site in the South Indian Ocean. They argue that debris patterns, ocean currents.
There's like no way I could just turn this off because now my hand is up in the space. And we have to listen to 10 minutes of Robert Stack AI voice. Logan's pushing the boundaries here.
They insist that what appears impossible is simply beyond the scope of current mainstream scientific understanding.
It's not getting approved.
In the end, the Twitter space concludes without consensus.
I agree.
The mystery of MH370 remains unresolved, ensnaring all who dare to delve into its depths. Was the plane teleported by advanced undisclosed technology? Were the videos a masterful hoax? Or is the truth something far stranger, lurking just beyond the grasp of human comprehension? As we close tonight's exploration, remember, the truth is out there, waiting to be uncovered.
Now for the 10-minute
Until then,
outro.
the mystery of Malaysia Airlines flight MH370 continues to haunt the annals of aviation history.
Ah, there we go. A nice little summary. AI summaries are nice.
That was legit.
It was actually really, really solid. Now we wait. Is anyone talking?
You're good.
No, go ahead, Tupa.
Right on. So this is Tupacabra with Skyfire News. We're live right now. Logan, I have a question for you. We wanted to get a quick recap on the MH370 debate that just went down. It was epic. Hundreds of people were in here listening. We got T. Powell and Krishley got a chance to talk to Ashton. And then by the end of it, had some civil conversation about the agreements and disagreements of the case. Logan, did this space just happen organically, or what? How did this start?
Yeah, it just happened organically. I forget what we were talking about. I was I can't remember at all. But it was something to do with Ashton, I think. Randy, you were in here, right? What were we talking about when Ashton came in here?
We were talking about random stuff, and I think Crumbopulous brought up the
Our very own Heather
discoveries within the videos, and so we were having a lighthearted, fun conversation about that. And then the next thing I know, Krishley was here, so I reached out to Ashton, and then he came in.
Well, that's awesome.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. It went on for a long time. How would you say it went? How would you sum it up? I mean, you clearly had the Robert Stack Unsolved Mysteries summarization, which I thought was beautiful, well executed. But like, in your opinion, was new ground made, or was it the same old stuff over and over again?
I mean, I'm not the person that like knows like the I don't follow it that specifically. So I mean, I can't even like be like this person's full of shit when they like make this claim or not, because I don't follow it that closely. I don't know those specifics.
Right.
But have to ask Powell over there. But I would say that I think ground was made in terms of like goodwill, like I think fostered between C. Powell and Ashton in terms of those two's like a relationship or maybe lack thereof. And I think that goes a long way with like their supporters on both sides, right? Hopefully that adds to like some goodwill for everybody.
No, that was a good point. That's a good point. And I want to say that it was brilliantly moderated. It was good to have someone in the mix, kind of handling business. Good work all around. Co-host, Panda. T. Powell, any statements about the debate as you see it?
I think it was a very good discussion that we were able to have there. I think for a while there was interest to get these points discussed. Get a lot of the points on the quote-unquote debunker side discussed in front of Ashton. We actually made some headway and were able to do that. There were still some challenging sticking points, but I think we started making progress and moving past the ad hominems and the personal attacks and actually focusing more on the technical elements. I think that's where the discussion needs to be headed. That's where the value is. And that's that's where I'm pushing. That's where I want to see things go. So from that standpoint, it was great. There was also some agreement to kind of more than kind of to end these kind of personal ad hominem attacks. Name calling and criticizing people's background instead of addressing the technical elements of whatever it is they may be presenting. Because I think it's well acknowledged that we don't have anyone here particularly who's a technical expert in everything. So you may have background in something, you may be able to find commentary from other experts relative to it, but it's not no one here is an expert in everything. But there's still valuable discussion that can be brought in, even given the lack of specific expertise in some areas. So the research is important, discussing the research is important, and I think we got to do that. So that was great.
I agree. I thought it was fantastic. It was good. It was heated, but then it landed in a good spot. Krishley's not here. Do you think she'd share the same? Not that you can speak for her, but to move past the ad hominems and land kind of in a more constructive space. I like to see that from all sides on pretty much all debates about the phenomenon. And actually, skip the question about Krishley. I have a question for you, T. Powell. Has this increased your interest in UFOs, UFO videos, or UFO culture at all, or has it decreased your interest?
I would definitely say it's increased it. I've always had some interest in it, but I think coming from an engineering background, I feel like I have a very firm grasp on what is technically possible, and a lot of what I've seen fits in the realm of what is technically possible within our capabilities. It might be at extreme limits of it, but it looks like it's what's within possibility. Now, I don't keep a closed mind. Like if an alien walks up to me and says, "Hi, I'm Bob, your uncle," I'm not gonna say, "Oh, like." I'm not gonna freak out and be like, "What the heck?" I'm gonna start asking questions.
Right.
I'm gonna have a conversation with. So, I'm not closed-minded in that regard, but I haven't seen it. I am the type where, for the most part, I need to find a way to see it or experience it myself to believe it, and it needs to be so clear and so defined that it's completely above reproach. And that might be too high of a barrier for some, but I feel like that's where my barrier still is. And that's kind of the standpoint that I'm reviewing these videos from.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks again, Logan. Thanks for the space. T-Pal, thank you for your perseverance. And I'm sure it felt like everyone was kind of like, you know what I mean? In these public...
It felt like a dog pile at first.
100%.
There was some warming in the discussion there. And I got to say, I really appreciate that, because like I'm used to, entering a discussion, and it's just, it is that dog pile. There is instant ad hominem attacks, and very difficult to discuss the facts. So discussing the facts today, yeah, that was awesome. I really appreciate it. I hope we can keep the ad hominems down. I'm definitely going to do that.
Yeah.
So hopefully we see that all around.
I fully agree. And I think all credit has to be given to Logan, the host. If you've ever been in his spaces before, I mean, he doesn't tolerate that stuff. Along with all the speakers in here, I don't think that we do like that shit at all. So it's better in spaces to end up and land in a new place and to learn something from each other than it is to just kind of scream at each other. Although there is a fair share of that, probably in any community, but definitely here in the UFO community, I can speak to that 100%. So thanks again, everyone. Logan, sick space, dude. Good debate. We needed it. The community needed it. And I'm out. Skyfire News out.
Cheers, Trooper.
Yeah.
All right. Now we're back in the mix. So here's the deal. All right. Here's my opinion. I'm going to give you guys some closing thoughts here. All right. Ashton Forbes. You guys, I don't know if you guys have heard my experience with him and how I met him, but it was through a Spaces. Ashton Forbes was a name. I think back then he had a picture for his profile. It wasn't even a thing. It was like a shape or a mask or something. And then I started to see his name pop up. I go, I know that guy. He pops into Spaces every once in a while, and he's talking about this MH370 thing. I have no idea. I've never heard about it. I had just never heard about it. And so here, boom, now I'm hearing about it. And I'm like, all right, let's get him into Spaces. I ask him if he wants to do it. He says yes. We get into his Spaces. He's super cordial. He's super friendly. We get along great. He's answering all these questions. He has more information about MH370 and the potential pilot motivations and Edward C. Lynn. He has more of an not alibi, but an outline for what happened to this plane minute by minute than I do for what happened to me yesterday. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm like, okay, this is very, very fascinating. And in that space, I had people I know come up and like pretend. This one guy in particular, I'm not going to drag anybody's name, and he's kind of a buddy of mine, and the guy like had some experience with Ashton on some back channel that I had no idea about. And he pops up and he's like, hey, nice question. And then he ends the interaction with so why do you like attack people who question you? And like, why are you attacking me? And you're lying. And it was like, whoa, what the hell? Where's this coming from? And I found out from then on, it just kind of never stopped. There was always a flood or a steady stream of people who had negative interactions with Ashton. Now, at the same time this is happening, I am getting doxxed. My family's getting doxxed and harassed and threatened, and in the most vile ways from people within the UFO community. It's all documented. It's all around. You guys can go check that out if you want to. You guys have probably heard it ad nauseum. But so at the time, I was seeing true terrible behavior, like really, really awful stuff that I wouldn't wish upon anybody. And so when people were complaining about Ashton kind of being like dismissive to them, I'm like, I don't give a shit about that. I cared, but I didn't care that much. And don't get me wrong. If someone feels threatened, that's never okay. If Ashton or anyone's out there being a monster, I'm not cool with that. Not at all. But that's not what I saw. Time and time again, I saw people claim that Ashton was being a monster to them, and then Ashton would be like, "Well, this is what you DM me first," and it's like, "You're a phony. I'm gonna expose you," and it's like fucking a lot, dude. Like, that's a lot. And so now, flash forward month after month after month, there's a new debunk of the videos. And also, and I talk about this a lot, and I'm going to continue to, because it's fucking really important. There's an audio recording that exists, right? It exists. It's real. Of the group of people who were coming after me with crazy allegations, and they were researching my family. They know stuff about me. This was exposed by UAP Mike, if you guys remember the whistleblower UAP Mike. DMs on DMs on DMs, how much these guys were gunning for me, and why. Your guess is as good as mine. They did not want me in the mix, and these same people were plotting to take the narrative away, the MH370 story away from Ashton. That's what they said. And these are like Jeremy Corbell's friends, right? These are people who talk to Gary Nolan. These are people who have access to a lot of these UFO, UAP insiders. And these guys were openly talking about how they were going to take the narrative from Ashton, and he was going to run with it. He was going to take it from them, that Ashton had stolen research and their research and everything. So still to this day, we're getting... he's getting crazy attacks, bot attacks, RAPE allegations that are fucking super false. The list goes on. How much this guy has endured, and how much he has stuck to the same story, that he believes these videos are real, and he's going to do everything he can to bring it out to everybody. So kudos to Ashton for sticking to his guns here, right? Now, the debates go on, and what happened today for me was an illustration and finally a culmination of, what is kind of like unhinged shit talking. Like, I don't want to drag anybody through the mud, but if you go through some of these people who are as harsh as critics, if you go through their accounts, they do not, some of them are like getting accused of being feds because of how strangely obsessed with Ashton they are. Now, the story about MH370 is interesting because it's a video that supposedly from the government that shows some kind of tech that no one's ever seen before, doing something very dangerous and possibly destructive to a plane full of civilians. So it's not that great. And if I was the government, I'd want to hide that with everything I had in me. I'd want to hide it. You know what I mean? I would not want this to get out at all. And so Ashton has a lot of reason to doubt these debunkers, in my opinion. He's got a lot of reason to. A lot of them have come out of left field. A lot of them are doing the typical thing that gets done with UFO videos and people who push stories and try to call attention to stories that are inconvenient to the secrecy machine. It's not a new thing. If you've been into UFOs, you know it's not a new thing. This is going to happen. It's going to happen repeatedly. For me, my interest in the MH370 case has always been the reaction of the videos to the people, or by the people. Sorry. Now, the reaction of the videos by everyone in like the upper tiers of all this stuff is so interesting to me, because they claim, number one, that they don't believe it. Then you find out later on that they did believe it for a long time. There's all these weird kind of clues that they were keyed in. These insiders they knew about this video before. Right before Ashton started to push it out, that they were well aware of it. There's these weird hints by UAP activists and UAP insiders that they were aware of this video, that they think about this video. Red Panda Koala, right? He asked Sean Cahill, who was Lou Elizondo's right-hand man, he asked Sean Cahill what he thought about the videos. And Cahill was like, yeah, man, like those are weird, dude. Like if they were faked by someone who knew something that they might not be able to know. No basement dwelling special effects guy in his home is going to know anything about this sphere network, right? And so there's that. I'm a supporter of people asking questions. I've had nothing but good interactions with Ashton. Ashton has done nothing but prove himself to be truthful, honest, and have integrity. Everything that he said that I doubted, he proved to be correct. The biggest one for me was the Joe Rogan claim. I was like, wait, is this dude talking to Joe Rogan for real? And then when he dropped the screenshots and they were like kind of weird, we were all like, this is crazy. But Ashton never faltered, kept delivering receipts. And when it came to be true, I watched how people reacted. Now, everyone thought that this was going to be a death blow for Ashton. Everyone did. And everyone who hated Ashton was going to dunk on him for him lying about Joe Rogan. And when he finally proved conclusively that he had DM'd Joe Rogan about being on the show, they all switched immediately without acknowledging that they were wrong, without acknowledging that Ashton was right. They immediately went, oh, see, even Joe Rogan knows better. Joe Rogan knows it's a hoax. He didn't have him on. So like 2 minutes ago, you were like, Ashton's a fucking liar. He did not get called by Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan would never reach out to Ashton. Never in a million years. There's no way. Ashton's a liar. Show the receipts, Ashton. Show the receipts. Then he does, and they go within the same breath, well, okay, well, Joe Rogan figured you out then. Ha ha ha. It's like, well, no, time out, dude, because now we have proof that you keep moving the target. The debunkers keep moving the target. That's not how you do it. Just take it, instance by instance, point for point, fact by fact. And then, and also prove along the way that you're willing to admit that you're wrong and that you're willing to advance and evolve your ideas, your concepts, and your theories. And I think you'll gain public trust that way. To think that you can just kind of identify Ashton as untouchable or persona non grata or someone who shouldn't be supported or whatever, and then just be able to shit on him, it's not going to work out. Ashton works too hard. He's worked too hard. I mean, he is grinding on this. He is grinding on this. I've never seen another ufologist have so many appearances. You know what I mean? Out and get all the backup facts and whatnot. Like, that's so interesting to me. Red and I talk about this all the time. We wish someone would do this for Cash Landrum, for Roswell, right? We need to have the community needs more Ashton Forbes, not less of them. We need to have people who are diehard, right? Diehard about Betty and Barney Hill. I want to, you know what I mean? I want someone to show me the air tracking data of every, here's what the airports are saying in 1951. This happened. Like, you know what I mean? We need to see that. Like, and the community doesn't have enough of it. And for us, and I do mean us, I consider myself a member of the ufology community. And I don't speak for us, but identify with the group. And I think that, like, we're dropping the ball on this one. This was an easy one. This is an easy one. As soon as the plots began to become exposed, literal plots to take the narrative away from Ashton, as soon as the fake RAPE allegations came out that everyone knew were fake, as soon as the fake GoFundMe came out that everyone knew was fake, except why was it made at all? And if you guys don't know this backstory, happy to go over it sometime with you in a timeline fashion, because what you'll see is organized efforts to silence this conversation. And I'm not going to say that it's a government job to make sure no one talks about MH370. From what I can tell, and the only evidence I have, and the only admissions I have on recording, are people who say that they wish that they were in Ashton's shoes. They wish that they know the videos are real, and they wish that they were the ones presenting the videos. So as far as that's the motive I've seen, that's the only motive I can back up. Now, if we are to walk down the trail that Ashton has laid out with people like Dave Rossi, Salvatore Paez, and so many more scientists, right? Jeremy Reese, even people like Patrick Jackson, right? Which they bump heads. Patrick Jackson and Ashton, they don't see eye to eye on everything. In fact, Jackson's convinced, and I know this, I can say this confidently. We had Patrick Jackson on the show a couple days ago, and Patrick is convinced that these videos are a product of the intelligence community, that they actually that a metallic sphere event might have happened, but it didn't happen like this, and this video is CG. That's what he says. That's what Patrick Jackson believes. Now, one of the reasons why I thought this video was so fascinating is because I spoke to Patrick Jackson back in October of 2022, so 2 years ago, more than, and he broke down his sphere network theory for me. And I always thought that was very, very, very fascinating, where we have videos and photos going back as far as 40, 50 years that show a sphere network, that 3 metallic spheres, target a flying object and then take it out. And he has a ton, absolutely a ton of photos and videos of this. And we still see UFO videos today get posted that are seeming to show Patrick Jackson's sphere network theory. And these metallic spheres and whatever, that's what I'm going to guess they are, metallic spheres. In the MH370 videos, the alleged ones, those ones look similar, they behave in a similar way. Not exactly, but there's only so many, you know what I mean? A network of 3 metallic spheres monitoring the skies, following a plane that's on fire, perhaps, and has a lithium ion battery. That's a weird signal. That's a weird signal that an AI system like Patrick Jackson has presented might pick up and be like, what the hell is this plane carrying? Or what is this thing doing? And then if it was about to get bad, they could do something to it. Now, we're going to close this out soon, but I just think there's a lot of meat on the bones here. And no one successfully debunked these videos. I love when people are doing it. I love watching people try to debunk the videos because it makes Ashton have to figure it out. And I'm not saying that in the end I believe Ashton will be proven right. I have no idea. But there is just no way that anyone should stand by and watch bad faith arguments dominate and ad hominem attacks dominate, and these weird. We shouldn't. No way. Everyone gets a chance to present their theory, right? And there is no real rules on decorum. The community is really if the community wanted to address people's behavior in a realistic way, it had that opportunity for years, and for years it didn't, and for years it allowed and continues to allow people who are harassing, doxing, and intimidating critics of people like Lou Elizondo, Gary Nolan, Jeremy Corbell. I mean, these guys, the community considers certain people untouchable, and when people become critical of these untouchables, anything goes for those people. Right? It's a community. As much as I love ufology, and I think that it takes a lot of bravery to talk about it, especially in public. It takes some nuts to be like, yeah, I believe this. Less now than before, but still, it takes a lot. It's a community of cowards, and I say that with like love in my heart. I don't mean like, I'm not trying to be like, oh, you guys are all wussies or nothing. It's a community of cowards, and that needs to change. I'm not trying to criticize. I'm not trying to Lou reviews the community. I think that there's a lot of great stuff going on in the community, and it's going to continue to grow and be really, really good. But like, people will sit by and watch attacks happen and act like it's not happening, and then move on. And it's like, well, trust me, when I say that behavior comes to bite you in the ass, there's no way you could let a person just behave fucking terribly next to you and think that you're going to be okay. It's never going to come near you. You're going to watch people get abused and attacked and slandered and think, oh, well, they shouldn't have stuck their head up so high. Well, trust me, man. It's a cowardly way to live. And you get these things that happen where, like, Ashton comes out and 6 or 7 people create 60 or 70 sock puppet accounts, and they create a heavy narrative that Ashton's this, this monster, this person or that person. And now people who are just passively in the community are like, okay, well, I'm going to discard everything he says because I've heard so many things. And I'm a little biased, man. I had people come to me who were like ex-government people. There's a guy who's featured in Chris Bledsoe's book. He has his whole end chapter is based on Bob McGuire. Bob McGuire is a UFO community member, an alum, if you will, powerhouse, Science Bob, we call him. And he's been around. I actually sat behind him at a UFO event, Inquire Anomalous, in 2022, which was cool. And Science Bob was a great guy. And he blocked me at one point. I was being canceled because this community is crazy. And I was being canceled and he blocked me. And eventually, he came up to me in a Spaces, in a recorded Spaces, and he said, "Tupa, I gotta apologize. I blocked you. I heard a lot of things about you that I did my own research and realized they weren't true and they couldn't be true. And I apologize for listening to that and for believing in that for any amount of time." And so there's a lot of stuff happening, a lot of narrative control, a lot of people controlling who gets the voice and who doesn't get a voice. And when Ashton's question tonight, when he finally got to ask T. Powell, hey, have you ever called or DM'd or contacted or messaged any podcaster or media source and told them that not to talk to me, that I'm a grifter and I'm a this, and T. Powell could not answer the question. And here's why he couldn't answer the question, in my opinion. He couldn't answer the question because he knew that if he did, how it would sound. And he realized most likely in that moment how overboard he had gone. Because, I don't think these guys understand how sensitive this community really is to narrative control once it gets outed. We could pretend it's not happening, but once we notice, it's like, nah, no way, dude. No way. We don't need people in here policing one of the best researchers in the game, as far as I can tell. Ashton Forbes has proven himself as an amazing researcher and also as a great presenter. You know what I mean? And I don't even think he's a great presenter by nature. I don't think he has a God-given talent. I think this is sheer perseverance. I think the amount of charisma he has and the amount of dedication he has and the audience he's gained is because of his perseverance and his dedication. I don't think he has a natural gift of gab. He just is making it happen, and he's gained it. And I respect that. I respect that, man. There's not a lot of people in the UFO community who can pop in and then bring a bunch of new voices, new eyes on it. I mean, these guys that are trying to control Ashton, who try to take the narrative away from Ashton to push it on themselves or to push it for themselves, these guys have never been hit up or quoted by the Hodge twins. They've never been on all these podcasts. They weren't asked to go on to Danny Jones. They weren't even, you know what I mean? They weren't asked to do all this. They weren't in contact with Joe Rogan, even in a flirtatious way. Like, oh, maybe we can get you on the show. I mean, a lot of these guys who want to take the narrative away from him, they couldn't do what he did with it. They'll never be able to do what he did with it. And like, people got to figure that out. We got brand new people and eyes on the UFO community and a possible sphere network, which I think there's ample evidence for. But Patrick Jackson rode the connection between him and Gary Nolan. Like Gary Nolan really propped up Patrick Jackson in the sphere theory, and he should have. But what Ashton did is went out and talked to Dave Rossi and Salvatore Paez, and I think fucking genius move, because I talked to Dave Rossi. Dave Rossi was like my second interview. I used to do a podcast, Twitter Spaces show. And he was like my first or second guest on it. And he's a fucking genius. And I've spoken with him so many times. And there are times when I hang up the phone and I'm like, do I have to fucking burn this phone? Like, because what he just told me has got me shook, dude. Like, no way. But yeah, Rossi's a great dude. And then Paez is a guy, a physicist, who has said in podcasts that he wants to incorporate, he wants to bring back philosophy into physics. And he seems to have a really, really deep heart. Salvatore does. And if he wasn't out of the podcast game because he's maybe said too much, then I would ask him on to Skyfire News immediately for an interview. He's one of my most sought after interviews. He seems like a great guy, someone to talk to. It'd actually be great to get a panel, right, of Dave Rossi, Salvatore Paez, Eric Dollard, Ken Wheeler, fucking Ashton Forbes. Get them all in the mix. I want a panel. I want to talk to them all, a round table discussion, and put some metal spheres in the middle of the table, and just see what kind of ideas come out, and then record that shit. I think actually that'd be so good. That'd be really amazing. Everybody, let's hope. Let's keep our fingers crossed that at some point in the future there'll be a scientific Hollywood Reporter video series where we get to have sit-down conversations, long-form conversations between great minds who wouldn't normally talk together, but probably should. And so Ashton's already halfway there, right? He's gone out and got these people in the mix. More of that. Krishley, here's some advice. Not that you need to listen to me at all. You're totally good. But Krishley, go out and grab more VFX artists. You know what I mean? Create more of a united front. Pull people in. More of not united front, but like I want to hear those opinions and those ideas from other people, as well as you. And yeah, it's a good idea. And Ashton's killing it. If you guys don't follow him on Twitter, you probably do. More people follow him than me. Everyone here probably follows Ashton. Statistically, that's the case. So yeah, we're going to follow this story over here at Skyfire News. There have been a lot of random other news stories that have like kind of popped up today, but this one was pressing and it just happened before the show. As you know, we come at you every day with the news and UFO information. It's kind of like what we do. We love it. We definitely have to hear some music on the way out, and I think we got to hear the Skyfire News track because it honestly is pretty sick. So everybody, I hope you're having a great Wednesday. I hope you continue to have a great Wednesday. I'm gonna. I wish you all luck on your endeavors and on your night. Be safe, have fun. Thanks for checking the Skyfire News. We'll be out there in spaces and whatnot, so find us there. All right, if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. If you want to like the video, that'd be cool too. It's probably going to get pulled because of Robert Stack's Unsolved Mysteries theme going for like 38 minutes. Thanks, Logan. But other than that, guys, until next time, thank you so much for popping in. Thank you, chat. Everybody that came in, all the members. Much love to the members. If you want to become a member, please do. I mean, support the channel. It actually does help out a lot. But we got our moderators in the mix. We got our members in the mix. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I know there were people in here debating, people who don't like the videos, people who don't like Ashton. You're all welcome. Pop in here, lay it out in the comments. If you want to have a chance to have a voice, pop into one of our spaces. We do it all the time. I got a Big Ups Portland. Yeah, Big Ups Portland. Let's go PDX. Yeah, Pacific Northwest Life. We're doing it big up here. We're doing it big. Oh, Lordy. Guys, love you. Till next time. Peace out.
This is Skyfire News, the best UFO show on the internet. Skyfire News is on the internet. Skyfire.